It is week number 13 of the high school football season, and tonight, the Bombers of Kenston and your two-time defending state champion Chardon Hilltoppers made the hour-plus trek southeast here to Boardman, just outside of Youngstown, to square off in the 2022 Round 3 edition of the Ohio High School Athletic Association High School Football Playoffs. It is the Division III Region 9 Regional Semifinals. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke, as we get you set with this one. And Ryan, we have a big X factor tonight here in Boardman with the weather.
Yeah, the rain is coming down really hard. It's going to be that way all night. No wind to speak of. Of course, both Coach Grubich and Coach Hugh would say it's not going to change their game plan at all. This is November football. You expect rain, snow, wind, whatever you get. So they're going to come out here, and we're going to see the Bombers be the Bombers and the Hilltoppers be the Hilltoppers. And look, these two teams played in Week 6. Both teams are much improved from where they were at that time. But these are two teams that can't fool each other at this point, Matt. They know each other very well, and they know what they're going to get from their opponent tonight.
Absolutely. It's the Battle of Geauga County, just about an hour away from home. Part 2, if you will. With that, we're going to pause, take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have pregame festivities for you right here on GTV.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club, in association with GTV, proudly presents Chardon Hilltopper Varsity Football. Today's game is brought to you by the Chardon Smile Center, Roniak Paving, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina, Hazen Asphalt, Paving and Seal Coat, The Arms Trucking Company, Realtor Beth Felger at Keller Williams Realty, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Dan McCaskey and Terry Combs, the McCaskey Team, Remax Traditions, the Junction Auto Family, Conic Law, LLC, Brock Construction, Precision Orthopedics,
Fit for Life Physical Therapy,
Ashes Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Come your two-time defending state champion, Chardon Hilltoppers. Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you, and as that sign said, guess who's back here again? It is the Hilltoppers back in the regional semifinals. Boy, it seems like it's becoming a big thing for this program.
It is. It's
becoming common.
I was going to say it's dangerously becoming routine. Sometimes you get afraid that maybe fans forget how much work it takes for all these players to get here, but it's been a lot of work from these Hilltoppers from August, and now they're here in the regional semifinals yet again.
Well, moments away from kickoff here on GTV. And Ryan, you look at this one, and the Hilltoppers were winners the first time these two teams played, 35-18. So you have to think, at least initially from that standpoint, Chardon with a little bit of maybe a mental advantage in this one, knowing that last time they got together, they're 2 touchdowns better. However, that being said, also kind of serves as motivation for the Bombers.
Yeah, it'll serve as motivation for the Bombers, Matt. And, look, you take a look at the 2 teams out there. They're both so much improved from week 6. It sounds like a cliche, but that game was kind of between 2 teams that don't exist anymore. We've watched Chardon get better. Kenston's gotten better. Kenston's on a roll. They came into this as a 13 seed, and here they sit in the regional semifinals. So these are 2 teams that have improved, and they're a bit different than they were when they met back in week number 6.
Yep.
But remember in that game was pretty close until the second half when the Hilltoppers started to pull away. It was a close game for a while. The Hilltoppers pulled away in that one. We saw Kenston do a lot to try to get their playmakers open in space. There were a lot of quick passes, a lot of inside zone stuff for the Bombers, and we'll have to watch and see if they go that route again.
We've seen a lot of teams try to do that against the Hilltoppers. Not many have been successful.
Oh, and the Hilltopper defense is on quite a roll right now.
Indeed they are. They have limited their last 2 opponents to under 125 yards in their last 2 games. Joseph Evans set to kick it off. High short kick. Up back, will field it at the 18, going to take it left side, 25-30, and not much more than that, knocked out of bounds, far side on the Kenston sideline near the 30-yard line. Kenston Bombers going to be led by senior quarterback Nico Georgiou. The senior's 6'1", 190, and he has one stud of a running back behind him in Sean Patrick, the junior, 5'9", 185. The boys up front for the Bombers include Sean Doyle, Leo DeLuca, Max Robarge, Ethan Valentine, and Luke Lagraff. Get you the rest of their starters in just a second here. 1st and 10 Bombers from the 30. They're going to go to the ground. It's Patrick on the run, and he's got nothing. A lot of black jerseys on that stop.
Good luck. The Hilltoppers are there, ready to go on play number 1. He just ran into a brick wall. Looks like he was able to push forward for a yard. That was it.
We will see a bevy of receivers in this game for the Bombers, and they're going quick, no huddle from the gun. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Now a timeout has been called. The official going to send A.J. Bruce off the field for some kind of equipment issue. Actually, check it. He's got blood running down his leg. They'll give it to Patrick again, trying to go left side. Has running and breaks a couple tackles and forced out of bounds near the 36 left side. Will bring him 3rd down and short. Receivers tonight for the Bombers will include Thomas O'Brien, Jimmy Richmond, Dylan Krupp, and Tamir Cardona. The tight end will be Cohen Clark. We saw Cardona, the sophomore, 5'7", 165, have a field day against the Toppers in week 6. 3rd and 5. Ground game again for the Bombers, and they are close, up near the 39.5-yard line. They just had to get on the other side of the 40. Boy, that's a good spot.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers got a good spot there. That originally looked like it was going to be sitting somewhere at a... Officials are going to... Yeah, they're moving that football back up to where we initially thought.
Is a first down. Clock operator, please reset the clock to 10:31.
Oh, that spot moved up a lot.
Wow. So the Bombers will get a first down. Officials spot the ball right on the 40. They eye it up and say it's good for the first down. Again, I don't think I've seen a chain gang come out to measure this year. 2 receivers left, 2 right. Giorgio going to look to throw the football now, tucks it and runs, crosses the 45 out near side toward the 47 before he is brought down by a couple of toppers.
You know, the thing about bringing out the chains, Matt, is when you're on a turf field and there's no grass, the person standing on the field should be able to eye that up without bringing the chains out. And I think to keep the game going, they're kind of encouraged to use your eyes on a turf field.
2nd and 3 from the 47. Bombers working their way left to right. We'll try to get you the Hilltoppers defensive starters after this play. It's to Patrick, and Patrick stuffed in the backfield now. Squirts out, crosses the 50, goes left side for the first down.
Yeah,
Check that. That was the QB, Giorgio.
Yeah, he had the keeper there. I think everyone was kind of surprised by the QB keeper, and he's able to pick up the big first down, and the Bombers have gotten out to midfield here on their first drive.
First and 10 now from the Hilltopper 46. Bombers on the move. Based on Chloe Clark in motion. Far left side will now line up near side. The give will be to Patrick. Wrapped up and dropped in the backfield. And it's Alex Kisley that got him for the huge loss.
Yeah, great play there by Kisley, following that ball all the way, getting in the backfield, bringing down Patrick.
Alex Kisley, the senior, 6'3", 230, joined up front by Cooper Felger, the senior, 6'0", 240. Austin Lazinski, the junior, 6'3", 211. And Caleb Schutzman, the junior, 6'2", 218. We'll be seeing Kyle Kisley, Maddox Ciancebello, and Robert Vunderlich also getting time on the defensive line. Give is to Patrick again, and he is met by another wave of Hilltoppers. About 5 black jerseys in there to stop him.
Yeah, they come up there in the big lead. It looks like Cooper Felger leading the charge for the Hilltoppers into the backfield to get that stop.
The stop will force Kenston into a 3rd and 11 now from the Topper 47. Linebackers, by the way, Heath Fetchick, Brayton Maruna, and Zach Fay. Those are your starters. Caleb Hewitt, A.J. Bruce, Trey Liebhart, and Leo Columbi are in your secondary tonight for Chardon. They will fake the handoff. They're going to go to the air down the field left side, and the ball is well overthrown. Was looking for Tamir Cardona, coverage by Trey Liebhart. And boy, Liebhart lived up to his nickname Trey last week with 3 picks.
Yeah, and he stayed on that route well. Giorgio just let the ball go early there, Matt, and the ball really beat his receiver down the field. No chance to make the catch.
The good news is for the QBs tonight, it is a light rain compared to some of the weather that we had come through earlier in this day. Not as foggy as it was driving on the turnpike either.
Yeah, it's a light rain. There's really no breeze to speak of, but still got to grip a wet football to get a good throw off.
Parker Monday's line drive kick will go into the, well, hold on here. They're going to mark it down at the 1-ish yard line. Nope. Where are they putting this one? There's some confusion on the play. They are marking it at the 20.
Yeah.
So the ball goes in the end zone, touchback. Parker Monday, an excellent puncher. I'll tell you what, that's one of these games, or could be one of those games, Ryan, where you look at the special teams, and they have 2 excellent kickers on both sides of the football who can do a lot of damage with their legs tonight.
Yeah, and you need special teams in the playoffs, and one of the reasons why is the weather in Northeast Ohio in November.
Henry in at QB will give it up to A.J. Bruce around the right, and Bruce cut it up the field and picked up a few yards before being brought down. And Sean Patrick was in on the stop that time for Kenston.
Yeah, Bruce did a nice job picking up 6 yards there, getting to the outside.
A.J. Bruce, one of a bevy of running backs we'll see tonight for the Hilltoppers, including Heath Fetchick, Zach Fay, Trey Liebhart, Drago Vujaclia, and Caleb Hewitt. It is 2nd down and 4 after a gain of 6. This time, Henry going to keep it himself. Up the middle. Running room across the 40, 50, down to the 40, stumbling, bumbling 30, and brought down from behind near the 25-yard line. Or wait, did he have, was that? That was the QB.
Yeah, that was a great run by Alex Henry. There was great blocking at the point of the tack to open things up for him, and he got into the second level, and he just took off, and he gets all the way down to the 21-yard line, and the Hilltoppers are in business, and the Bombers' defense gives up a big play early.
Boy, Henry got up kind of slow, was hopping around, but looks to be okay. It is 1st and 10, Chardon now from the Kenston 21. Man in motion. They will fake the handoff. Henry going up the middle again. Knocks over a couple Bombers up near the 15 and is finally forced back. Boy, another powerful run by Alex Henry.
And it starts at the point of attack. Again, the offensive line wins that battle in the front. They open up the hole for him, and Alex Henry comes through for 7 yards.
Now Henry, who has just over 1,000 yards rushing this year, leading the charge so far tonight. Team leading 12 touchdowns, tied with A.J. Bruce in that category. 2nd and 3 toppers from the Kenston 14-yard line. They will hand it off again, and getting up near the 10-yard line was Keith Fetchick.
That'll move the chains. It's a first down. They go to Fetchick. He gets those hard-earned yards. Fetchick had a nice week last week against Geneva offensively, and, of course, always there as a presence defensively.
Boys up front for the Hilltoppers include left tackle Andrew Baggett, the left guard Treadell Graves, the center Dylan Jenkins, the right guard Mark Hall, and the right tackle Logan Bryant. Charlie Brock is your tight end tonight. 5:20 and counting. Toppers getting back to work. Caleb Hewitt makes a cut, took it, spinning around. Hewitt on his feet and going to be brought down shy of the goal line around the 1.5.
He makes a nice decision there. He sees the field well. He runs inside his block on the outside. He saw that hole open up, ran inside the block, and gets all the way down to the 2-yard line.
2nd and goal now, Chardon from the 2. Boy, for the Hilltoppers, as clock runs here in the first quarter, it would be huge to jump on top early in this one.
Oh, for sure. It's always good to play from in front.
Man in motion, the Toppers hand it off. Broken play, though, as the Bombers were able to get some pressure and not let them get outside. It was Vuyaklia who maybe gained a yard. Looks like they're going to spot him at the 2, so no gain. Will be 3rd and goal from the 2.
Bombers' defensive line did a nice job there. They've been getting pushed around on this drive by the Hilltopper offensive line, but that time they came up strong on the goal line.
Ready to get back to action here. 3rd and goal from the 2. High snap. Henry picks it up and has to fall down on it. Boy. And now some chirping going on.
Man, we haven't seen
Henry
that.
does not like this. He felt his helmet was purposely ripped off by the Bombers. This will force the field goal unit to come out for a long field goal.
We haven't seen that from the Hilltoppers all year. A bad snap offensively. We talked about that wet football. It's very wet out there. And
this will be a 29-yard field goal attempt for Joseph Evans. And now, timeout has been called. The Hilltoppers call the timeout. For what it's worth, that field goal split the uprights.
Well, hey, if the Toppers win tonight, GTV will provide live audio-only coverage of Hilltopper football for next week's playoff game on GTV Channel 1025. You can listen to the Toppers in the comfort of your own home with the score on the screen and the golden tones of our announced team, including the wonderful Matt Jaworski, bringing you all the action. So if you can't make it to the game, be sure to tune into the Toppers on GTV Channel 1025.
Evans will come out again for the 29-yarder. Interesting that it was the Toppers who called the timeout there.
It is.
Good snap, kick is underway. It is up. And it is good with 3:50 to go here in the first quarter. The Hilltoppers strike first and lead 3-0.
Yeah, good start here for the Hilltoppers. Remember, you can get GTV on Roku and Apple TV. You can also get it on your cell phone. That's iPhone or Android. Look for the Cablecast app in your store, and you'll have GTV on your phone.
Well, you look at the Bombers defense. They've got to feel, Ryan, that they came out with the win on that drive, limiting the Toppers to just 3.
Absolutely. Chardon got down to 2nd and 2, and the Bombers were able to push them back. That is a momentum change for the defense. That's something that you could feel good about and you could start to build on. And, you know, after really letting the Hilltoppers march down the field, those last 2 plays of that drive, the Bombers' defensive line really dominated the point of attack and were able to push Chardon back.
Toppers will kick it off. This one's going to take a few bounces. Eventually picked up at the 14, and not much more than that. Boy, the return man, Tamir Cardona, had trouble feeling that line drive bouncing kick.
Yeah, keep it on the turf. It's a wet turf. It's a wet ball, and Cardona had some issues with it and struggled to pick that one up. Eventually he does. He grabs it. Well, Matt, we'd like to send a shout-out and a hello to Lillian and Dennis Graw this week. Thanks for tuning in.
Certainly appreciate them. And all of our listeners.
Yes. Shout-out to all of you.
But boy, Dennis and Lillian have been listening for years. And very loyal and faithful Hilltopper fans. It is 1st and goal, Kenston from the 20, and the Bombers, this is their 2nd possession. They're going to go to the bubble screen toward the left side. It is caught, but a little gain as a couple of Hilltoppers got there and wrapped them up.
And that's what you talk about. There's nothing these two teams can do to surprise each other. The Hilltoppers were ready for that screen play. They had the defense there. They knew it was coming. They're able to get the stop. Still a pickup of 4 yards for the Bombers.
There's Caleb Hewitt on the stop there. Hewitt looks like he's matching up with Dylan Krupp. From the gun, they'll give it to Sean Patrick. Patrick makes one cut, spins around 30, still on his feet, 35, and Patrick brought down from behind near the 36. And now a late flag comes out.
We'll have to wait and see what that flag is, but that's a nice run by Patrick. Strong run, spinning off some tacklers.
Well, flags have plagued the Hilltoppers lately.
Yeah, last week it was the holding call. 2 weeks ago it was all those procedural penalties. They had played a clean first quarter, and we'll see who the flag goes against.
Be a personal foul penalty against the Hilltoppers will give Kenston an extra 15 yards, and it is those type of penalties that the Hilltoppers cannot afford to make in this game if they want to come out victorious.
Yeah, it was a rash of the 5-yarders 2 weeks ago, the 10-yarders this week. Then you try not to make it a rash of the 15-yarders this week, because now you're getting to the point in the playoffs where you're going to pay for penalties. You really have to play a clean game.
You cannot give Georgia extra yardage. Just too dangerous of a QB. He's from the gun, 2 receivers left, 2 right. They fake it to Patrick. He breaks 1 tackle left side 50 and is eventually brought down inside Hilltopper territory left side near the 48-yard line.
Bombers had a couple of big plays on that QB sneak on the first drive. The Hilltoppers ready for it that time. It's a pickup of 2.
Now, borrowing a little bit something out of Northwestern's book, I suppose. You Buckeye fans know that reference. 2nd and 8. They will give it to No, they're going to go to the pass near side. Cardona catches it, but he's quickly wrapped up and brought down by Hewitt.
Great eyes by Caleb Hewitt. Saw that screen pass coming. He gets in there to make the stop, but you did mention there, Georgiou, you almost thought he handed it off. He runs play action really well. It's difficult to follow the football when he's down there.
He is going to make a great quarterback at the next level for some college. 3rd and 10. Bombers will give it to... No, they will not. They're going to look over the middle. The ball is incomplete, thrown just a little bit short of Cardona. And Cardona was open, but the pass just not there. And now a late flag coming out.
I believe it's going to be in the area of holding. Yeah, and it is against the Bombers. But yeah, that, again, you wonder if that pass is affected by a wet football and a wet hand. That one just gets away from him. Yeah, the Hilltoppers don't need that penalty. It's 4th and 10.
They will decline it in the... Bombers will send out Parker Monday for the punt. Monday averaging about 36 yards a kick. A high kick. Fetchick calling for the fair catch near the 11, and he makes it. Solid catch by Heath.
Yeah, nice job there by Heath Fetchick. Makes the decision to go for the fair catch, secures it, and be a long field for the Hilltoppers. But they marched down the field the first time until getting stopped on the goal line. One thing is for sure, when you talk about Chardon football and what Chardon does, dominate time of possession. They have done that to this point in this first quarter. Kenston was only out there for about 2 minutes, and the Hilltopper offense comes right back onto the field.
Toppers will have the ball 1st and 10 from the 12 with 1:19 to go here in the first quarter. Chardon going to run the ball toward the right side, and now another late flag. It comes out.
Nice run there. Get around to the outside.
There's a penalty flag on the play.
And we'll wait and see what they're going to call here.
Now, early indications are this one will go against the Hilltoppers. It is a personal foul against the running back for a face masking.
Don't get that one very often. But that is 2 now personal foul penalties against the Hilltoppers here in this first quarter.
First down, Toppers backed up to the 9. Henry sends Bruce in motion, and Alex Henry keeps it himself up to the 11. Nice job by the Bombers defense. They didn't bite for that one. You know, we have not had a chance to introduce the Kenston defense tonight. Up front is Sam Meeks, Jake Novak, and David Clausen, the linebackers. Charlie Kress, Ben DeMarco, Josh Holland, and Ashton Kolensik. Logan Taft, Tyler Schur, Charlie Thompson, and Jeremy Haydu are your secondary. Are in the secondary, I should say. Well, this will just about do it here. The first quarter winding down, about 10 seconds to go. Toppers, let's see if they're going to get this play off. They have a second extra to spare. They will run it. And it's going to be Alex Henry. Henry tripped up near the 10. Nowhere to go. DeMarco got in there and brought him down. And that will do it. The first quarter comes to an end with the Toppers leading 3-0.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club, in association with GTV, proudly presents Chardon Hilltopper Varsity Football. Today's game is brought to you by the Chardon Smile Center, Roniak Paving, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina, Hazen Asphalt, Paving and Seal Coat. The Arms Trucking Company. Realtor Beth Felger at Keller Williams Realty. Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes. Dan McCaskey and Terry Combs, the McCaskey Team, Remax Traditions. The Junction Auto Family. Conic Law, LLC. Brock Construction. Precision Orthopedics.
Fit for Life Physical Therapy.
Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and the Chardon Athletic Boosters. And by GTV.
Matt Jaworski, Ryan Radke with you here in Boardman at Boardman Stadium, home of the Spartans. The Division III Region 9 Regional Semifinals. It is the site of the Battle of Geauga County Part 2, Kenston and Chardon. Hilltoppers lead 3-0 after a quarter of play, and they are pinned back to a 3rd down and 11 from their own 11-yard line. Henry will fake the handoff going forward. Henry again goes right into a number of Bombers.
Well, this is a big moment for this Bombers team, Matt, here in the second quarter. The Hilltoppers got that field goal, but that was the win for the Kenston defense. The Kenston defense gets another win here as they are going to flip the field for their offense. So we'll see if Nico Georgiou and the Bomber offense can come out.
Charlie Thompson standing at midfield awaiting the punt. Evans, that's a high punt. It's a short punt. It will take a Kenston bounce, and Hilltoppers will down it inside the 40 around the 38-yard line.
From up here, it looked like a Bomber got a hand on it, Matt. Looked like someone from Kenston was able to get a hand on that punt.
Kenston will start 1st and 10. Ball's on Chardon's 38-yard line.
And a real challenge now for this Hilltopper defense.
Well, the Bombers this year have been tough. They are a very good offense. Put up 136 points in the second quarter alone. Goes back to Patrick, but wait, flag. And this will be a legal procedure call against the Bombers. Back them up 5.
They probably have a little excitement. They know how big this drive is for them with their starting field position, and they got going just a little bit too early there.
Georgiou looking into the sidelines for the call. He has 2 receivers left. Cardona, and I believe that's O'Brien to the right. Krupp to the left. Patrick in the backfield. And from the gun, they'll hand it off to Sean Patrick. Patrick gets up near the 42-yard line where he's wrapped up and brought down.
Looked like that was Fetchick who got in there and got the stop.
Gain of about 1 yard on that run. Bombers this year have amassed more than 4,400 yards of offense. Looking to pile on some more here. Georgiou from the gun will again give it to Patrick, makes a cut, and Patrick battling up near the 40-yard line, where again a number of black jerseys were there to help wrap him up, bring him down, including Cooper Felger.
Nice play by Cooper Felger. Already has a couple of big plays at the line of scrimmage. It's, I'd imagine, 4-down territory here for the Bombers, so 2 chances to pick up the 12 yards they need.
2 receivers to each side now. Patrick from the gun to the right of Georgiou. 3-step drop. Now he's being flushed out, being chased by Kisley. Will throw it down the middle of the field. Incomplete. Was looking that time for his intended target, Sean Patrick, who came out of the backfield but couldn't hook up with him.
Yeah, Georgiou got out there. He was rolling. He had to throw on the run a little bit off his back foot. Couldn't get anything on it. It went down into the turf. Nice job by Kisley in pursuit to make Georgiou uncomfortable there.
Now, Coach Grubich wanting to make this a game of field position. He has Parker Monday out. Fetchik walking backward toward his 10. Got to wonder maybe if this would be an instance where you might consider faking it. They do not. Monday gets off a high kick. That's a good kick. And Fetchik will let it roll. And it rolls out of bounds. Did it come back? The official actually says it went into the end zone and then came back in play, so it'll be a touchback.
That was a close call down there. There's a flag on the field back at the 37-yard line near the line of scrimmage. And we'll have to wait and see what that call is going to be, see what kind of effect that has on where we're at.
A lot of flags in this one early.
Number 19. After this is to the goal. First down.
That is the third personal foul penalty against the Hilltoppers here in the first 15 minutes of this one.
We'll back them up half the distance to the goal and pin them at the 10. And Coach Hewitt not happy right now with the way his team has not been able to keep their cool.
Like I said, penalties have been an issue the past couple weeks, but it's a different penalty every week, and it's the personal fouls this week. Already 3 in the first 15 minutes.
From the 10, they give it to Bruce on the jet, makes a nice cut up near the 15 to the 16. And A.J. Bruce found a little opening and took advantage of it.
Yeah, he does a nice job. Again, he runs inside the block. He doesn't go all the way to the outside. He sees a nice hole open up. As Vujaclia threw a nice block out there, he runs inside that block, picks up 6 yards.
Bruce, the leading Hilltopper rusher when it comes to average yards per carry, just a tick under 12 yards. Three 0 Hilltoppers. Vujaclia comes in the game, and it is Henry keeping it, crossing the 20 up near the 23-yard line. First down Hilltoppers.
Yeah, nice job by the Hilltoppers there. You fake the jet sweep, you send Alex Henry up the middle, and there's enough for him to pick up the first down.
A huge first down by the Hilltoppers. Reestablishes a little bit of momentum. Three guys behind Henry, and he will hand it off. I think that was Vujaclia who got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's swallowed up there by the Bomber defense. Might have gotten a little bit of, about a yard on forward progress. Not much they're giving him there, but he got something before the Bombers came in.
You know, that was interesting. First time we've seen that formation this year.
Mm-hmm.
Chardon leading Kenston 3-0, a 29-yard field goal by Joseph Evans. The difference in this one so far. Around 8 to play here in the second quarter. Handoff. And the Hilltoppers looking to work between the tackles. Fetchik was the ball carrier and picked up a couple more yards, but will be third down and long.
Bombers doing a nice job right now on the defensive side of the football at the line of scrimmage.
Now, unlike the past 2 weeks where the Hilltoppers faced opponents who went both ways, that is not the case tonight.
Yeah, Kenston does not have a lot of players that play on both the offensive and the defensive side of the football.
Hewitt goes in motion. It's Henry, the ball carrier. Henry got back to the line and then pushed back by about 4 different Bombers. They snuffed that one out from the get-go.
Yeah, and that's great discipline by the Bomber defense, as you know, they didn't bite on that fake at all. They stayed with the ball all the way. Tackle Alex Henry.
And for the second time tonight, Henry's helmet comes off. We hadn't seen that in a while.
No, but that's now twice for the Hilltoppers that they've seen that happen tonight. And, you know, when you're playing defense against the Hilltoppers, it's about watching the football, not watching the players. And Bombers do a nice job there, and they're forcing the Hilltopper punting unit back out onto the field again.
Evans gets off a good punt this time. It will take a bounce and roll out around the 31-yard line. Nice change of field this time by the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, that's a nice punt by Evans because it kind of breaks where we were, right? This entire second quarter, we played 5 minutes of it. It's all happened in Hilltopper territory. Now Joseph Evans gets a nice punt out there, and the Bombers will have to start at their own 32, but Hilltoppers needed to get that breathing room there, and Joseph Evans with a good punt gives it to them.
Well, for Nico Georgiou, a young man who has thrown for over 2,300 yards this year, the passing has been very tough to come by. But you got to think if they keep going back to that well, he's going to connect. They're going deep this time. They have the inside route. No! Instead, it was overthrown. Either that or O'Brien made the wrong cut. Nonetheless, the Hilltoppers will see that fall incomplete.
Yeah, good coverage down there by Hewitt. That's another ball that didn't have a lot of zip on it coming out of Georgiou's hands. I'm wondering if Georgiou's definitely being affected by all the water down there. Now it's turned into a really light drizzle compared to where we were before, but everything is just so waterlogged down on the field.
The other thing to keep in mind is based on Old Glory flying far to our right, no wind or very little wind. So wind not a factor right now. 2 receivers left. They will give it to Patrick. Patrick breaks a couple tackles and is brought down across the 35 out near the 36-yard line. Hilltoppers saw him late when he got near the linebackers and brought him down.
You mentioned Old Glory, Matt. We'd like to send a shout-out and a thank you to all the veterans listening tonight. Thank you for your service on this Veterans Day, and thanks for tuning into Hilltopper football tonight.
I just set you up so well with that stuff.
You do a good job, Matt.
Thank you. Nice to see you take it and hit the home run.
I was always good in the cages. It was on the field where I had some issues.
High snap. Georgiou looking to throw, has time. Has O'Brien near side, juggles the catch, incomplete. It was high, and Liebhart came over and hit him as he fell to the ground.
I would say if O'Brien had a chance, Liebhart took it away by diving in there and knocking it away, and Georgiou just does not look comfortable throwing tonight.
No, O'Brien 6'3", 175, and if he was maybe 6'6", he would have caught that one clean.
And that's the thing. It's been consistent for Georgiou. Everything is overthrown tonight. There was the one throw that went right into the ground, but otherwise he's overthrowing his targets tonight.
Monday from his 22 to punt. Low snap, picks it off the ground, and it will go into the Kenston Bomber bench. My, oh my.
Well, this is a game of momentum. You don't always see it on the scoreboard. You see it in field position, and Kenston had about 6 or 7 minutes where they were really dominating field position, and the Hilltoppers have now turned that around on them. And momentum is definitely with the Hilltoppers right now.
Well, each of these punters is exceptional. We've seen someone touch a Joseph Evans punt, and now that from Parker Monday. Although Monday might have tried to get that off in a hurry because there was some guys coming.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers were definitely coming, and Monday alertly.
From their own 45, Chardon has the offense back out on the field. They're looking to pass for the first time tonight. Henry going to throw down the left side, looking for Hewitt, and overthrows him. He had Hewitt open, but it will fall incomplete.
Yeah, Hewitt had a step on his defender there, but nothing they could do to get that throw in. But still, you know, we've seen the Hilltoppers throwing a bit more this year, but that's the first time they've gone to the air here in this game, and it comes here in the second quarter.
Well, in reality, they need to do that a little bit because the Bombers just continue to stack guys in the box. You got to move them away from the box a little bit. It's so tough to run when you have 10 guys in the box.
And that's what the Bombers are going to again. They're not going to stop because of one throw.
This time it's a jet. And trying to get around the right side, but then cutting it up is A.J. Bruce.
It's extracurricular again.
Yeah, a lot of extracurricular. Officials, now a late flag.
I'm sure the officials know what it means when it's Kenston and Chardon. But these two teams definitely are coming with a little bit of extra juice tonight.
It's going to be a sideline warning on Kenston. That'll be their first. I thought maybe with the official throwing, or with the head referee throwing that one, that might have been something else. Yeah, that's the one thing that we're not quite just under 5.5 before halftime. And we haven't even talked about the neighborhood rivalry of this contest, and in due in part because we're out here in Boardman.
I was going to say, we're so far from the neighborhood, we haven't even thought of it.
Henry will take it himself across the 45, first down to about the 43-yard line, and the Hilltoppers now.
There's more pushing and
more
shoving
pushing
going
by
on.
the Bombers, and the officials not doing anything.
At some point, they're going to have to use their flags because this one will get out of hand.
And Ryan, the thing is, I don't care who's doing it. You got to stop it for these kids' safety.
Yep.
I don't want to see Chardon doing that, and I don't want to see Kenston doing that.
No. You can't have that in.
It's not good football.
Honestly, we alluded to it on the previous play, but that's 2 plays in a row where there's a lot of that going on the field afterwards.
Hilltoppers love to play a physical game, and the Bombers all season have been working to be as physical as Chardon. Henry thought about throwing it. Now he tucks it, and he's trying to move the pile forward, and now a late flag comes out toward the end of that play.
We'll have to wait and see what that is, but yeah, you're right. The one thing that's a difference in a lot of these matchups between the Hilltoppers and the Bombers is how much more physical the Hilltoppers are than the Bombers. Bombers look like they're trying to come out with some punch here tonight, Matt.
Well, indeed, they are playing about as physical as we've seen this Kenston Bomber team play. It is, I believe he said, illegal contact to the helmet by a Bomber. That'll be a 15-yard penalty after the ball was spotted. So move the Hilltoppers to what, about the 29 of Kenston. You look at the situation now, Ryan. 4:43 to go here. Clock now on the move here late in the second quarter. Toppers will get the ball to start the third. You have to come away with 7 here. It is imperative.
Yep.
Henry again. Henry left side. A flag comes out.
There is a penalty flag on the play.
Yeah, you were alluding to it right before the play, Matt, but 4.5 minutes to go. You'd love to use as much time of that as you possibly can. Get a touchdown. Rely on your defense so that you can get a 2-for-1 and get the offense back out to start the third quarter and create some separation.
Be a holding call on Baggett. We'll back him up 10. And boy, that is devastating. That right there alone pushes him out of field goal range.
Yeah, you had gotten right in there too. It was a nice first down run. Now you're back behind the chains.
1st and 16 now for the Hilltoppers. And boy, holding penalties again last week was just a nightmare for Chardon. They're looking to pass the football. They're going to try to do something. Henry, under a lot of pressure, going to throw it down the field, and it is picked. Waiting for an official to make the call. They're going to say incomplete. It looked for a moment that it was intercepted, and I thought maybe Charlie Thompson had it, but no. Officials will say it hit the ground.
Yeah, Charlie Thompson thought he had it down there. He did not. It's second down, but Alex Henry fortunate to get rid of that football. That play took a long time to develop, and there was a lot of Bombers getting in the backfield, and Henry was able to get rid of it.
Will be 2nd down and 16 for Chardon from their own, from the Kenston 35.
Number 77, number 7 for 5-yard penalty, now first down.
Yeah, so that's
a legal man downfield at the end of that play was, again, Baggett. And so moving back another 5. He's cost him 15.
And again, here the penalties stacking up against the Hilltoppers, and we talked about this is getting to the week where you can't have that anymore.
Bruce goes in motion. Now everyone flush out to the left side. Fake on the throw, and Henry running room 30. Henry on his feet toward the 25-yard line, and that is a big gain for Alex Henry.
You already lined up a couple receivers off on the left. You send Bruce in motion that way. You get everyone looking left, and Alex Henry is going to run the ball up the middle. That's a great run as it picks up 15 yards for the Hilltoppers, and after all that, they're back on schedule, Matt. It's like 2nd down and 6.
Fantastic call by Don Novacic on that one, as he had the Bombers thinking it was going to be a bubble screen to the left side. Henry will hand the ball off. I think it was Fetchick who's up near the 20.
Yeah, nice run there by Fetchick. Sets up 3rd down and short, and you had those 2 penalties, but all of a sudden the Hilltoppers are right back on a roll. They're at 3rd down and 2, have a chance to get a first down, keep this drive moving. And down now under 3 minutes left in the half.
Plenty of time for Chardon, but they need a first down here. Henry under center. Sends a man in motion. It's Bruce trying to get around the right side, picks up the first down, and is knocked out of bounds near the 17-yard line. A.J. Bruce on the jet, needed a few, and he got it.
Yeah, nice run there by Bruce, getting inside of the tackle there.
So the Hilltoppers will get a first down. They will have 1st and 10 from about the 16, so they can pick up a first down, although they would love nothing more than to get pay dirt here. Plenty of time, still 2:35 to go in this one before halftime. Bruce again in motion. It is Alex Henry, and Henry stopped after a gain of about 2 yards on that run up to about the 15, maybe the 14, depending on the spot.
Yeah, and only about a yard gained there.
It has been a miserable weather night in all facets. A lot of technical difficulties on both ends. One of the reasons why we're just showing you, unfortunately, one view here tonight. We apologize for that, but it's what happens when you're dealing with the remnants of a hurricane. Henry going to keep it this time. Looking to go left side. Henry, flag comes out as Henry pounds his way up near the 6. However, it's coming back.
Yeah, it's in the area of holding again. It's been a serious problem for the Hilltoppers here, and we'll see the call. Well, that wasn't holding.
It'll be a chop block on Treadell Graves. Back him up 15.
And these
and that is
are
not good.
Yeah, these
puts him at the 30. And again, about out of field goal range. Be about a 47-yarder right here.
Yeah, no wind tonight, but it is a wet night. Now, we do know Evans has a strong leg. But also the Hilltoppers really want to get 7 here.
Official going to put 3 seconds back on the clock to 1:50. And every time we think the Hilltoppers are putting themselves in position, Ryan, they continue to take it away with penalties.
They're right back out to the 30-yard line here. In the last 15 yards, they got to make back now.
Henry fakes the handoff, looking to throw. Henry under pressure, avoids one tackle, loses the football. The ball is turned over. Well, now there's a scrum for it. I thought the Bombers might have jumped on it. We'll see who the officials say has it.
There's also a flag on the field.
Kenston did come up with it. And now the question is, it was Charlie Thompson who recovered it, but what is the call? Will it stand?
We have to wait and see what.
Penalty against the Toppers. It is declined.
Well, this is the big moment now for the Bombers offense, Matt. They've struggled all night long. They're in the 2-minute drill, 1:40 to go. You can take the lead going into the locker room.
They fake to Patrick. Georgiou over the middle, and it is incomplete. Was looking for Tamir Cardona. In and out of his hands.
Threw it over the middle into some tight coverage there.
You know, Ryan, for what it's worth, the Hilltoppers, when these two teams met in Week 6, 8 penalties for 65 yards. Pretty sure they've gone well above that in this one.
Yeah, the penalties are racking up here tonight as we have an injured Hilltopper down on the turf.
Well, with that, we are going to take an injury timeout here on GTV. Unfortunately, Alex Kisley being helped off the field, and it is a sight that we have seen once before, and
it was in that game
against an ironic twist. Georgiou empties the backfield. 3 receivers right, 2 left. He's got 1:34 to do something. From the gun. Going to step up in the pocket. Flushing out right side and will go down. And now a late flag comes out.
It's going to be holding against Kenston now. I'll tell you what, Matt, the officials saw it getting chippy, so they've had the reaction to start throwing a flag on every play, and that's where we're getting to now.
No, we heard Coach Hewitt talk after the game against Geneva and questioning how, and I think to a certain extent rightly so, while they were holding calls against his team, the officials seemed to almost look the other way at times for Geneva, and no holding penalties against Geneva. Finally, one gets thrown against the Hilltopper opponent.
Yeah, it's really difficult. You don't want to put too much on it, but it's difficult to imagine an entire game go by without a holding call against a team. That happened for Geneva last week.
Patrick gets the call, breaks one tackle around the left side, still on his feet, spinning around, and Sean Patrick continues to move the pile up near the 22-yard line. He ran a long way for just a couple of yards.
Yeah, Hilltoppers did a nice job there because he broke that initial tackle, but there was always another Hilltopper defender there. He couldn't turn up field, couldn't find a space, a gap to run through. Hilltoppers eventually bring him down for a short gain.
3rd and 20, clock running, 44 seconds to go. Play clock down to 9. Georgiou, 3 receivers left, 2 to the right. Just letting that clock run down all the way, and the Bombers will call a timeout here with 25 seconds to go.
Yeah, not a whole lot of time here for Kenston to work with.
You have to think, though, from a certain extent, that they might have wanted the Hilltoppers to burn the timeout instead, but Coach Hewitt did not do that.
No, Coach Hewitt will go into the locker room with a lead and get the football back to start the second half and try to extend that lead. Well, remember, high school sports are just a part of the programming lineup on GTV. Our coverage will continue all year long for Cardinal, NDCL, and Chardon sports. It's our 27th year. Check channels 1020 and 1025 in the GTV website, www.geaugatv.org, for replay dates and times. Also, don't forget, about the community school and bulletin board services provided 24 hours a day on GTV, channel 1020 and 1025. Once again, check www.geaugatv.org for details.
Now 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right, similar formation for the Bombers. Georgiou from the gun. 3rd down and 20. Timeout being called by Coach Hewitt. Boy, he sprinted down the field that time.
He got a chance to get out there, see what the Bombers had lined up, and now they get a chance to take a timeout and talk about what they were seeing on the other side of the field there.
Big game of chess between these two coaches who have coached against one another in a number of big games.
Yeah, absolutely, and they know each other well, so the chess match is on tonight. Well, remember, GTV is on the web. You can check out our new website with streaming links and more. Watch GTV wherever you go, Florida, Columbus, or even Tuscaloosa. Streaming video of both channels available now at geaugatv.org. Of course, the high-definition Chardon Square Cam up and running just in time for the lake effect snow season, so get to geaugatv.org.
Didn't you?
Well, it's inevitable. It's already in the forecast for this weekend. I didn't do anything.
Bombers come back out on the field. I'm just not ready for it yet. Same formation. They're letting that play clock run down, trying to get the Toppers to jump off sides down to 4. They snap the football. Georgiou stepping up in the pocket, going to throw down the field. Ball is caught by Cardona across the 40, out near the 38-yard line. Slid down around the 37. That was a huge gain on 3rd down and long, and now the Bombers put themselves in striking distance with 18 seconds to go before halftime.
Well, that certainly changes things for the end of this half, doesn't it, Matt? So the Bombers are going to use a timeout here, and now they have a chance to take a couple of shots toward the end zone and maybe get a lead in this game going into halftime. So that was a big play down the field, and Georgiou, who has struggled so much in the passing game, completes one there, and it's the biggest one of the game so far.
That was huge for Kenston, and you just feel that turnover has sparked some momentum coming from this Bombers team right now, and a lot of confidence now flowing from the team that I guess technically is the visitors tonight in Kenston. Of course, that familiar Dallas Cowboy look with the white uniforms trimmed in blue, the gray helmets, star. Georgiou feeling pressure, stepping up in the pocket. Going to throw it toward the end zone, has a man there. It's up, and a flag comes out. 2 flags.
It's okay, that's a flag you need to take. That is a touchdown if you don't commit that interference. That's a flag you have to take. Georgiou able to step around the pressure. Plenty of time to get it up and get it over there. And that was going to be a touchdown catch for Sean Patrick. The only way to prevent that touchdown was to commit that penalty. That's one you'll take if you're the Hilltoppers. That's one done with intention. It's not putting at the 1-yard line here.
It is not a spot foul as you see in the NFL. This one is just a 15-yarder.
It's a penalty you'll take. If you're in a similar situation on this next throw, do it again.
And you got to credit the Kenston QB. Under pressure, just stepped up in the pocket, allowed the pressure to go by him, and then nearly had the touchdown pass to his running back. Three receivers right, 2 left. They're looking toward that right corner. Ball up, and it is caught. Touchdown! That was Tamir Cardona.
Well, Georgiou on this drive has gotten a little bit more time in that backfield. He's stepped out of a couple of tackles, and he's able to make a dynamite throw dead on the money into the back corner of the end zone. And the Bombers have played really well in this first half, Matt, and their offense gets down the field and gets a touchdown with 4 seconds left in the first half to take the lead over the Hilltoppers.
Parker Monday's kick is underway, and it is good with 4 seconds to go. Bombers take the lead 7-3 over the Hilltoppers.
Remember, you can follow GTV on Twitter for all the latest replay news and other important information. So to follow GTV on Twitter, you'll have all that latest news. Can't let this get in your mind too much. It's a touchdown. These things happen. This is the playoffs. It's 7-3. Don't turn the ball over here with 4 seconds left. Secure this kick return and get yourself into the locker room. You'll have the ball coming out and some time to discuss some things, discuss limiting those penalties and all those things the Hilltoppers need to do.
For what it's worth, these two teams went into halftime in Week 6 tied at 7. Chardon was actually at one point in time down 14-10.
That was a game that was basically a tie game until late in the third quarter when the Hilltoppers started to pull away.
The big difference is the Hilltoppers in that game were running the jet a lot, and they have not been able to do so tonight. Coach Grubich and his staff have loaded the box and have made it very difficult for the Hilltoppers to run the football, and credit the Bombers. They've made a big adjustment, and now you have to wonder how the Hilltoppers will respond when they come out of halftime. Ball is picked up at the 25, 30, 35, 40, and tripped up. Boy, oh boy, the Hilltoppers thought they might have had something. Vuya Clea was the return man, but got ankle tackled, and that was it.
Charlie Thompson makes the big play for the Bombers there to prevent a potential kick return touchdown.
Folks, with that, we invite you to stick around for some halftime entertainment here on GTV. It is Kenston 7 and Chardon 3.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club, in association with GTV, proudly presents Chardon Hilltopper Varsity Football. Today's game is brought to you by the Chardon Smile Center, Roniak Paving, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina, Hazen Asphalt, Paving and Seal Coat, The Arms Trucking Company, Realtor Beth Felger at Keller Williams Realty, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Dan McCaskey and Terry Combs, the McCaskey Team, Remax Traditions, The Junction Auto Family, Conic Law LLC, Brock Construction, Precision Orthopedics,
Fit for Life Physical Therapy,
Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the 2022 Chardon Hilltopper Marching Band. The band is predominantly represented by Kirkland Chardon Giants. Tonight's show features a few of our favorites from this season. Our first team is a swing band dress. So come according to this song, features Team Cooper, Team Pete, or Brother Goodman. This version features our matrix, top cuts, and swing band dance. Here is Sing, Sing, Sing. Show, featuring our fabulous Toperettes, made famous by the Beatles back in the 60s. Here is Twist and Shout. Featuring our powerful percussion and magnificent WeWereAthletes, we're sure to recognize this classic from 1963. Get out your surfboard and pretend you're on a beach. Here is Wipeout. Together for the Chardon High School fight song.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club, in association with GTV, proudly presents Chardon Hilltopper Varsity Football. Today's game is brought to you by the Chardon Smile Center, Roniak Paving, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina, Hazen Asphalt, Paving and Seal Coat, The Arms Trucking Company, Realtor Beth Felger at Keller Williams Realty, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Dan McCaskey and Terry Combs, the McCaskey Team, Remax Traditions, The Junction Auto Family, Conic Law, LLC, Brock Construction, Precision Orthopedics,
Fit for Life Physical Therapy,
Ash's Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Welcome back, everyone, here to Boardman Stadium in Boardman, Ohio, just in the greater Youngstown area. Hilltoppers and Bombers, second time this season they're playing. Coming out of the locker room at halftime, it is Kenston 7 and Chardon 3. And Ryan, you look at this one, and from a defensive standpoint, it has been the Bombers who have been the more physical team.
Yeah, although both defenses have played really well. The score of this game is 7-3, but the Bombers have come out with a lot of fight tonight.
That kick will be picked up at the 2. Coming upfield, the 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Down the field, no one to beat. Caleb Hewitt racing down the sideline in the end zone. Touchdown, Toppers! A 98-yard kickoff return, and the Toppers have retaken the lead.
Yeah, how about that one from Caleb Hewitt? Gets to the outside, gets a couple of blocks, and he is gone, racing down the sideline. And that is a second half tone center right there. The Hilltoppers have responded coming out of the locker room. Caleb Hewitt all the way down the sideline. That was an incredible run.
Essentially just straight down. I honestly thought he was just going to let that one go.
Yeah, so did I. Then he picks it up, he's down the sideline, and he is gone.
Bit of a high snap on the kick, but no problem. It is good. So the Hilltoppers retake the lead in this one, 10-7, just 15 seconds after halftime.
Well, if the Toppers win tonight, GTV will provide live audio-only coverage of Hilltopper football for next week's home playoff game on GTV Channel 1025. You can listen to the Toppers in the comfort of your own home with the score on the screen and the golden tones of Matt over here. So if you can't make it to the game, be sure to tune into the Toppers on GTV Channel 1025.
Folks, want to keep this in mind. Not sure if you can quite see it on the video screen, but the rain starting to come down a little bit heavier now. It at one point in time had turned into, I don't know, mist, like a light drizzle, something like that, no wind. And now Old Glory, she is picking up, although for the moment the flag is a little limp, but starting to see some more wind here. It is going to be a very interesting second half in terms of weather, which could again affect the QBs and the kicking game in this one.
Well, when you looked at the forecast, we were supposed to have a breeze tonight, and you're like, where's the breeze? It just came at halftime.
Evans, a short high kick, fielded at the 15 far side, cutting across the 20, and that is about it. Hilltoppers wrap up the return man and limit him to about the 22-yard line. Not much more that Charlie Thompson could do right there.
Yeah, and that wind is a cross breeze, and you could see Old Glory all of a sudden really whipping out there. And, you know, the Bombers had just gotten their passing game going at the end of the half, Matt. Now they're going to have to contend with the wind here.
So this game went 23 minutes and 56 seconds without a touchdown. And now in the span of 19 seconds, you get 2 of them. See what the Bombers do here.
Spread out by about 25 minutes thanks to halftime.
Detail. Cardona wrapped up and dropped down. Liebhart snuffed it out.
That big play down there from Trey. There's a chance that could have been intercepted. The Hilltoppers were exploding into the backfield on that screen play.
Well, Cardona, again, when they got together in week 6, 5 receptions, 60 yards. He has that touchdown reception tonight of 22. He's only a sophomore, but one of Georgiou's favorites. Sean Patrick now lining up to the right of the QB. Receiver, 2 receivers near side, 2 to the left, and wave that one off. That just didn't look good from the get-go.
No, and as a result, the Bombers, looks like they got a timeout in just in time, but in what could be a close game, what could be a critical timeout as we head closer to the end of the game, the Bombers forced to use it here, because you're right, that just did not look right from the start.
No, Coach Grubich, you don't get this too often, Ryan, where you have 2 head coaches, and these 2 schools really have combined to win 3 of the last 4 Division III state titles.
No, you do not get that very often. This is definitely a battle of powerhouses and a big rivalry, and it's playing out that way so far tonight. Well, don't forget, you can get GTV on Roku and Apple TV. You can also get it on your cell phone. That's right, your iPhone or your Android. Just look for the Cablecast app in your store, and you'll have GTV on your phone.
Chardon head coach Mitch Hewitt, potentially one of the few guys here not wearing any rain gear, just sporting the Hilltopper t-shirt.
Yeah, he was out there pregame in just the t-shirt. It was pouring rain. He was ready to go.
That doesn't scream toughness. I don't know what does. Well, I'll tell you what, it's not bad outside. I thought it would be much cooler, but temperatures held up. Over the middle, ball is caught, wrapped up and dropped. Cardona made the catch and was spun around near that first down marker.
That was Liebhardt again who spun him down.
Good enough, though, for the first down.
Oh, yeah, you were talking about the weather. That wind is going to cool things off pretty quickly now, man. The cold front, I don't know if you've watched the news, the cold front is coming. So,
the problem was I didn't reference the Woolly Bear this morning when I was trying to pick up my wardrobe.
Oh, that was the problem.
Getting a cease and desist for another station. No, the fake is to Patrick. Georgiou, great play action on that one. Pulled it back just in time and took it forward for a pickup of about a yard before he met. I think that was Logan Bryant who brought him down.
Good job by the Hilltoppers there. The Bombers got a lot in the early going on that QB sneak, so good to see the Hilltoppers there really key in on it and get the stop after a short game.
Ground game again, and this time Patrick, running room, is stopped near midfield. Leo Columbi came up and made the touchdown-saving tackle there. He was really the last guy, the last line of defense.
Yeah, Columbi does his job there to wrap him up, but good work by the Kenston offensive line. Again, they're winning those collisions up front. They're opening up big holes, and Patrick able to run through it.
Now a flag comes out. Going to be a legal procedure against Kenston.
It's one of those fun ones where everyone points to the other side. Those are my favorites, but it does go against the Bombers.
The Bombers just had too many guys moving at once. Hilltoppers will take it, move the ball back 5 yards. Penalties in this game, by the way. Kenston, 30 yards in penalties to Hilltoppers, 85 yards in penalties for what it's worth. The fake, the little bubble screen there, and the catch is made in a broken tackle. Pushing his way ahead was the tight end Cohen Clark up near midfield, gain of about 6 on that catch.
A.J. Bruce got back there. He didn't manage to bring him down, but he did manage to slow him down long enough to get some other Hilltoppers there and hold it to a short gain.
Second and 9 from midfield. This time the give is to Sean Patrick, trying to bounce outside. He does 45-40. Patrick to the 35, 30, and Sean Patrick brought down from behind. Boy, he now has burned the Hilltoppers on 2 runs in this half.
And that looks similar to what we saw from Sean Patrick in that first matchup back in week 6. He's able to see the field. He uses his vision. He sees if he bounces out off his left tackle, he's going to have room to run forever. So he goes outside the tackle and big gain.
Hilltoppers have seen a lot of great running backs this year who are going to be playing at the D1 level. I don't know about Sean Patrick if he's got any such offers, but certainly he is a great running back. Toppers will get him that time for a gain of just about 1. Couple guys in there on that stop.
Yeah, Topper is able to get in there. Kyle Kisley, one of the guys back there, able to make that stop.
Two receivers right, 2 to the left, 1 back in the backfield for Georgiou. And he will give it up again to his running back who plows ahead to about the 25. Short pickup on 2nd down, but it's going to keep him on schedule, as you like to say.
Yeah, they've got a 3rd and manageable here. You're in 4-down territory, so this is perfectly fine if you're a Bomber. Pick up 3 yards here, and you got a shot to keep things rolling.
The last time Kenston was this deep inside Hilltopper territory, they've got a touchdown. Now, Georgiou under pressure, looking to throw the football. Feeling pressure, throwing it over the middle. Incomplete, was looking for his tight end Clark, could not catch him. Chardon, a little bit deceptive there on that formation.
Yeah, Clark was flashing open down there for him. It was the only chance Georgiou had once he rolled over to that sideline. And he makes a nice throw there because he kind of threw it a little off his side, so it didn't get. There were 4 Hilltoppers there. If he throws that one overhand, he probably gets picked off. A throw that only his tight end could catch. His tight end couldn't handle it, and this is quite the field goal they're lining up for here, Matt.
42-yarder, but it is with the wind. That may help Parker Monday here, although this young man may not need it. He's got a great leg. He's kicked a school record field goal. Kick is up. It's blocked! The Hilltoppers block the football. They scoop up the loose ball and return it across the 40 out near the 47. And now a late flag comes out. I got a feeling it's sideline warning.
Yeah, the Hilltoppers were off the sideline. So it should be a warning against Chardon. But they have that ball. It'll be out about midfield. That's a huge swing in this game.
Is the Toppers' first warning.
And one of the things with the Bombers, who played well in week 6, they had some self-inflicted wounds. They made some mistakes in that first matchup, and Coach Grubich knew it before the game, saying we need to avoid some of those mistakes. And there they get a field goal blocked, and we don't even get a chance to see if the wind was going to affect that one.
No, the Hilltoppers came in like a bunch of mad men and got the push on the line and blocked it. Now let's see what they do offensively. It's the QB, Alex Henry, across the middle, and Henry picking up about 6 there on that run.
This is a big moment for the Hilltoppers. This is a chance to really put your foot on the gas now. You get that turnover, you're at midfield, you've got momentum flowing. This is the time for this offense. This offense doesn't have a touchdown yet tonight. This is the time for them to get down the field and score.
Well, it was a turnover by Henry that eventually led to that touchdown by Kenston. No doubt the senior QB would love to atone for it on this drive. 2nd and 6, Henry from the gun. Will give it up right side, picking up the first down, and then just a little bit more squirting his way out to the 40 was Trey Liebhart.
Yeah, it's a great run there as he finds the gap, runs inside his blocker, picks up the first down. They move the chains. Kenston's got 10 guys in the box, but you can't let that change you, and the Hilltoppers do not. You're a team that runs the football down people's throats, and that's what they're going to do tonight.
Now the key is execution up front and winning the battle of the trenches for the Hilltoppers. They will give it to Bruce, and Bruce, I don't see what he saw there. It was on the jet, but he instead decided to counter and go up the middle between the tackles.
He does pick up a couple of yards, so it's going to bring up 2nd down and 8.
Leo Columbia now will check into the game as a split end. Clock running 4:52 and counting here, 3rd quarter. Toppers 10, Bombers 7. Now Caleb Hewitt in motion, and it's Henry on the run. A late flag comes out, 2 of them, as Henry falls forward. And don't like where these flags are.
We know what these are in the area of. We saw that a lot in the first half. We'll wait for an official signal. But, yep. They had avoided the penalties so far in this second half. The penalties really hurt the Hilltoppers. One of the reasons this offense couldn't get off the ground and get going was those penalties. And here's another penalty. As they were moving the football, they're back behind where this drive started. That's where they're at right now. Right back out to midfield on 2nd down and about 20.
That is just a devastating penalty by Chardon, and you got to wonder if it's going to suck the momentum out of this drive. Toppers get it off just before the clock expires, and it's Henry making a cut. Henry up near the 40-yard line.
Nice job by Henry. You fake it to the jet, and then you counter. So you fake the jet right, you counter to the left, and Alex Henry picks up 10 yards. So it's 3rd down and 10. Probably 4-down territory, so 2 chances here.
Now the Hilltoppers, we have seen them throughout this season put themselves in these 3rd and longs, and from time to time they do come through. And now the Hilltoppers will burn a timeout here with 3:22 to play in the 3rd quarter. They want to talk this one over.
Well, high school sports are just a part of our programming lineup here on GTV. Our coverage continues all year long for Cardinal, NDCL, and Chardon sports. We're in our 27th year. Check channels 1020 and 1025 in the GTV website, www.geaugatv.org, regularly for replay dates and times. Also, don't forget the community and school bulletin board services provided 24 hours a day on GTV, 1020 and 1025. Again, it's www.geaugatv.org for details. 27 years, man. We're covering second-generation players these days.
Oh, indeed
we already
are.
covered their parents back in the day. Well, GTV covered their parents back in the day.
Toppers will come out of the timeout with a 3rd down and 10. Rain coming down now even heavier, and the wind starting to whip the flag around. This game could very well now be determined by the ground games for both teams. A flag comes out prior to the snap.
Hilltoppers wanted to get the call for encroachment, and they get it. They politicked for that one a little bit. Well, that helps them out immensely in 4-down territory, bringing to 3rd down and 5. That was a big mistake for the Bombers.
Now, it was absolutely huge. We've seen a lot of those penalties going the other way tonight, where it's Chardon making the big penalty, but this time it was the Bombers. Now 3rd and 5 for Chardon. They give it up to Bruce. Bruce, an opening, 1st down and more, 25, Bruce 20, to the 10, to the 5, touchdown Toppers! No flags. No, check that, there is one, out near the 38, and it's coming back.
There's going to be holding against the Hilltoppers again. This one is coming back again. I understand why to some extent, you know, the Hilltoppers and their fans probably feel a bit targeted by this. This is a lot of holding calls racking up against Chardon in the past couple of weeks.
It has to stop.
That's the thing. You gotta figure out what they're calling and make an adjustment.
Makes it 3rd down and 18 now, and takes him right out of field goal range.
We're back to midfield again, only about 3 yards from where this drive started. Probably out of 4 down territory here as well.
Just took 7 off the board. They give it to Bruce again. Bruce an opening, has a couple blockers in front of him, and dives ahead across the 35 down near the 33. Will bring up 4th down and short.
They just ran the exact same play. And he has Trey and Fetchick out in front of him throwing blocks, opening things up for A.J. Bruce, and you're at 4th down and 4 in 4 down territory.
They also pulled Mark Hall, the right guard, on that one, who made a big block as well. So the Toppers will keep the offense out on the field, a 4th down and 4. Let's see what they dial up here. Liebhart goes in motion. It's Liebhart with the carry. Liebhart cannot turn the corner. He is denied. Sean Patrick and a bevy of Bombers get in there, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, it's a big play down there by the Bombers on defense. They're able to contain out on the edge. They're able to prevent Trey Liebhart from turning the corner, and they push a big momentum push here, but it's a familiar feeling to when Kenston was pushing momentum their way in the first half, Matt. It's the penalties. The penalties. This is 3 weeks in a row. The penalties are mounting up on the Hilltoppers, and you just can't survive that forever.
Georgiou and company with the ball, 1st and 10. They give it, no, they do not give it to Patrick. They're going to throw over the middle. Cardona makes the catch out near the 45, and Tamir Cardona moves the chains. A great job.
Great route, perfect throw. He gets between the safeties, and hitting him on the dime was Georgiou. Threw that ball on a string to make the perfect throw and get it in there.
Sean Patrick breaks 1 tackle, trying to get out of the backfield. No, the Hilltoppers push him back.
He's a strong runner, though, but eventually it's Austin Lazinski who's able to bring him down. Forward progress is going to be for a loss of 3. Maybe a loss of 4 even on forward progress. Good job by Lazinski to clean that one up.
From the Chardon 48, Georgiou from the gun, 2 receivers to each side. Now he's going to move Patrick over to his right. Fake to Patrick. Georgiou looking down the middle again, and it's caught by Cardona. Same route and same result. Big 1st down out to the 25.
Same route, same exact spot. You throw it right on that dime. Cardona's making a nice move to create some separation for himself, and he's getting open in the middle.
Yeah, he's just living life in the slot lane, if you will. This time it's a handoff to Patrick. Patrick pushing ahead, picking up several yards out near the 22. Fetchick in on the stop.
Good job by Fetchick to get there, but the Bomber offense is moving. That 4th down turnover sure looks like it was a shot in the arm for the Bombers, because they are marching down this field right now.
Well, indeed they are. And right now the Topper offense has no answer at this point. Looking to throw. It is caught near the 1st down marker. That was Cardona again.
That time Cardona comes running toward the sideline, makes the catch. It's Georgiou's able to sneak it right in there.
3rd and 1. Third down and 1 from the 16. Patrick the carry. Patrick stopped! The Toppers got him! It was Logan Bryant.
Yeah, big play by Logan Bryant, getting into the backfield, hitting Patrick for the loss of 2.
Folks, that will do it. The third quarter has come to an end. We'll take a timeout here and come back with the final 12 minutes of regulation here on GTV.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club, in association with GTV, proudly presents Chardon Hilltopper Varsity Football. Today's game is brought to you by the Chardon Smile Center, Roniak Paving, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina, Hazen Asphalt, Paving and Seal Coat, The Arms Trucking Company, Realtor Beth Felger at Keller Williams Realty, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Dan McCaskey and Terry Combs, the McCaskey Team, Remax Traditions, the Junction Auto Family, Conic Law, LLC, Brock Construction, Precision Orthopedics,
Fit for Life Physical Therapy,
Ashes Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Fourth quarter action begins here on GTV. It's Matt Jaworski and Ryan Radke with you. Hilltoppers up 10-7. Parker Monday out to attempt a field goal to tie this one up. It will be a 35-yarder as he's going to kick it from the near side hash. Now, Kenston sending everybody out to either side of the line. Hilltopper's going to call a timeout here. That will be Chardon's second timeout taken of this half. They have one left.
Yeah, Hilltoppers need to discuss that to figure out what they're going to do. Hey, each week, the OHSAA determines which playoff games can be covered and possibly streamed by GTV. If Chardon wins and we are permitted to cover next week's game, our playoff cable telecast will be underwritten by the Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club supporters. The game will be replayed on cable that weekend and may also be live streamed by the Chardon Athletic Department for a one-time fee of $10. Some or all of the proceeds from the streaming revenue will go to the athletic department. You can find the live stream subscription link at www.geaugatv.org or chardonathletics.org.
This does not change the Bombers' prerogative. They're keeping they're keeping the special teams out on the field.
Another chance to tie the game. They got their last attempt at this blocked.
From the near side hash, it's blocked. No, it's a fake. They're looking to throw the ball. It's up in the air. It's intercepted. The Hilltoppers get it on the pick. Holy cow. Andy Fender, number 33 for Kenston, threw the ball. And the Hilltoppers come up with the INT, ending that drive. That was worth the timeout.
It was worth the timeout. As the Bombers still go for the trick play. We talk about when you're playing Chardon, you have to play a perfect brand of football. And you just can't turn a ball over like that and give it to the Hilltoppers. And, the Bombers do, playing for that 10-10 tie. Instead, they choose to go for it, and the Hilltoppers make them pay.
Well, now let's see what the Hilltopper offense can do here. Running toward the near sidelines, but being dropped for a loss was Alex Henry. Boy, we're seeing Jack Novak get in the backfield an awful lot tonight.
Yeah, Jack Novak's doing a great job at the point of attack, and he's won a lot of collisions getting himself into that backfield, and he's causing all kinds of trouble for the Hilltoppers tonight. It's a loss of a couple. This Kenston defense, every time Chardon has a chance to get something going, this Kenston defense tonight has been up to the task of stymieing that rally.
Chardon still trying to run the football. It's Bruce on the carry, and Bruce, no gain, will bring up third down.
I mean, the Bombers do a great job. They didn't bite on that play fake at all. Alex Henry play faked and ran to the right untouched because all the Bombers knew where the football was, and A.J. Bruce had nowhere to go.
So now Chardon facing a third down and 11 from their own 18-yard line. And the Hilltoppers need a big play here. Otherwise, it's going to be Joseph Evans coming out to punt the football. Dropping back to pass is Henry. Has time. Going to throw down the middle, looking for A.J. Bruce. It's up in the air, and it is caught! A.J. Bruce with the catch out near the 48-yard line. There are flags on the play.
A flag came out. I believe this is going to go against the Bombers, so A.J. Bruce gets the spot. Man, did the Hilltoppers need that throw. As they needed to do something with the Bombers stacking up 10 guys in the box.
It will be...
So that tacks 15 yards onto the end of that play. And the Hilltoppers are right at the 39. It was a big throw by Alex Henry, a great catch by A.J. Bruce.
2 weeks in a row, they have hooked up for big pass plays over the middle.
I was just about to say the same thing, Matt. It was in the fourth quarter a week ago that Henry found A.J. Bruce on a big connection in the fourth quarter, and they team up again here.
Handoff. The fullback dive. Fetchick running over guys up near the 30. I've been wondering where that play was all night.
Well, now you've got things opened up for it a little bit as you have the defense having to respect the pass a bit. You go right to the fullback dive, and Heath Fetchick, he's been so strong when he's been called upon for that play all year long, and he makes the big run again.
Well, Fetchick does it all. Offense, defense. He's got 2 rings plus a third because he was the starting catcher on the state championship baseball team from last year. Handoff, Fetchick again, first down and more. Fetchick over the 25, down near the 24. He is just rolling through Bombers.
Yeah, keep going back to that fullback dive until they show they can stop it. Fetchick picks up about 5 yards, moves the chains, and
I'm starting to wonder now, Ryan, if it's the Bombers who are wearing down a little bit. However, we have a Hilltopper down. One of the O-linemen is down. With that, we will take an injury timeout here on GTV. The good news for the Hilltoppers, after being stretched out for a while, Logan Bryant runs off the field under his own power. Haven't seen the Hilltoppers cramped up in a long time.
No, but looked like that's all that it was, so hopefully we'll see him back out on the field soon.
QB keeper crossing the 20 down near the 16 was Henry, and the Hilltoppers, even with Bryant on the sideline, moved the football, and you have to start wondering at this point in time if the Bomber defense is beginning to get gassed.
Yeah, there's no way around it. Time of possession, we don't have the numbers in front of us, but the Hilltoppers have clearly been in front of that all night long tonight, and that's Hilltopper football. You wear down that defense and you wear them down, and Hilltoppers are moving now.
The fake, but it was snuffed out. A ton of Bombers in there, including Josh Hallen, making that stop and getting Henry in the backfield for a short loss. Going to bring up third down in about 3 or so. And it's huge now, though, Ryan, because a field goal still would allow Kenston to take the lead in this game. You need to come away with 7 here.
Yeah, you want to come away with 7. You've got a pretty stout defense, though, that's had Kenston to the point where they were looking like they were attempting a field goal on the last 2 drives. So if this is becoming a field goal game, you take one right now.
On the carry, Bruce tried to cut it up the field, and Bruce is very close to that first down marker. He does have it. The officials say move the chains out near the 13-yard line.
Yeah, I was going to say, where the officials are, that's moving the chains.
And now Bruce is down on the ground.
Bruce's carry is good for 40 yards, and it's Hilltopper's first down.
Folks, we're going to once again step aside for what looks like an injury timeout here on GTV. Well, the good news is A.J. Bruce, after being attended to, quickly jumped up and walked off to the sideline.
You wonder, with the sudden change in the weather, the wind bringing this much cooler air, you wonder if it's causing guys to cramp up a little bit.
1st and 10 from the 13. The give to the big man, Fetchick, inside the 10, down near the 9.
Great work by that offensive line to open up a big hole for Fetchick to dive through, and he dives right on in there.
Yeah, you just got to keep, at this point in time, giving the ball to number 7.
Yeah, keep feeding him. He's picked up 3 yards there.
Fetchick with 5 touchdowns on the season. He would love to add number 6 here. Entering this game, 214 yards of offense and very limited touches. The give around the right side toward the 5 and pushed out of bounds near the 6 was Liebhart.
It's a nice run by Liebhart, and you're going to get yourself to 3rd down and 4 here.
Toppers, we're seeing him having some success inside and now a little bit of success outside.
That's the whole thing. You want to try to get to the point where you can move some of those defenders out of the box and open up some more things. And ever since that big throw, Henry to Bruce, that has happened.
Galinek in at the split end right side. Fetchick in the backfield. They will fake the handoff. Moving ahead is the QB, Henry. He should be close to the first down. He has it out near the 2.
Yeah, nice job by Alex Henry. You go to your senior quarterback for that big 3rd down run. He moves the chains, and Hilltoppers looking for the chance to open up a 2-score lead. And if they do that, Matt, this game is getting really short on the Bombers really quick, as the Hilltoppers have put together this long, sustained drive here.
Well, the one thing to consider, the Hilltoppers have enjoyed a devastating time of advantage possession in this one, but they have not scored an offensive touchdown in this game. So being up 10-7, this is an absolutely huge if they can get it. Toppers looks like they may have fumbled the football. They did.
I think Kenston has it. They do.
My, oh my, the Bombers. I did not see. Sean Patrick has it.
You march all the way down the field. You look like you've taken momentum. You get yourself on the goal line, and you give the ball back to the Bombers with 5:46 left in this game. 2 timeouts, plenty of time for Kenston. That's a huge play for the Bombers. I mean, they were looking in the face of a 2-score deficit with less than 6 minutes left.
I did not see what happened. There are way too many bodies flying around quickly. But it'll be a 1st down and 10 from the Chardon 4.
Bombers turned the last Hilltopper turnover into a touchdown.
They fake it, and now Georgiou running out right side has a man wide open at the 10. Spinning around down to the 15, and it's a 1st down.
Georgiou does a nice job there to elude trouble. He's got a receiver that comes back for him, gets open, makes the catch. Big 1st down. You're out of the shadow of your own end zone, and you're moving.
And now the Hilltopper defense has to step it up here, but if you're the Bombers, you got momentum on your side. Handoff, fake the Patrick. It's Georgiou running the football 20 and taking his feet taken out from under him.
Well, they picked the right call to make that play call, because Patrick has been running the football like crazy in the second half. You get the Hilltoppers bought in on stopping Patrick. Georgiou runs counter, wide open off on the left side.
2nd down and 3 from the 22. Got to get just past the 25. Niku Georgiou has had a great game. Letting that play clock run down now. Down to 5. Getting his guys set. Dropping back to pass, looking to throw. Left side, well in front of Patrick. Incomplete.
Georgiou has had his moments, but for a lot of this game, the timing on the passing game has been just a bit off. And there's another throw, just a little bit off. That gets the spot well before the receiver's coming around in the route.
You can't blame the wind on that. No wind on that play. So 3rd down and 3. Bombers looking to get a big first down here, keep their hopes of advancing to the regional finals alive. Winner plays the winner of Canfield and Youngstown Ursuline. Georgiou looking left. In and out of the hands of Cohen Clark, incomplete. Went to his tight end, but he could not hang on to it. Was just a little bit behind him.
I was going to say, now that throw a little short. Clark's turning around. He's trying to make a catch. He's trying to look upfield. It's decision time here for the Bombers. They still have 4.5 minutes left. They're only down by a field goal. Do you think your defense can come out and get a stop?
They do, because Parker Monday is out.
Yeah, I think that's the right call here for Kenston.
Well, if you're the Bombers, one thing that you don't want to do is go for it, not convert, and give the Toppers a 3rd chance in this game to score a touchdown. Now, granted, they haven't been able to convert either. Realistically, it's been since the Riverside game since this Hilltopper offense has looked this disheveled.
Yeah, give the Bombers defense some credit. They've done a great job tonight. As we have a penalty against the Bombers, it's going to push them 5 yards back here. But yeah, this Bombers defense, this has been a great job by that unit tonight.
They have been fantastic in limiting this Hilltopper offense. And they're going to be called upon one more time if Parker Monday can get this punt off. Good snap. A little bit of pressure. Decent kick. Going to take a Kenston bounce across the 45 and roll to a stop near the 41. So not too bad of starting position now for the Hilltoppers. And what Chardon could use is a dose of clock time and run this clock down.
Yeah, they just need to run this drive like the last one. Kenston can stop the clock 2 more times. They're going to have to be strategic and decide when they want to do that. But the Hilltoppers, your last drive ate up most of the first 6 or 7 minutes of this 4th quarter. I mean, you want to go back out there and do that again. Just eat up the clock, eat up the time. Get the game short on the Bombers.
Well, the Chardon coaches have preached toughness all year long.
Meanwhile, how about both of these defenses, momentum killers? Every time one team seems to have momentum, the other team's defense comes out and puts a stop to it. And both defenses, as we have a false start against the Toppers, they're going to start this drive back 5 yards. But both of these defenses have to be waiting for their offenses to come up and make the big play. The Bombers got that touchdown at the end of the half from their offense. The Hilltoppers' touchdown is on special teams.
Well, the one thing, though, to keep in mind is when you look at these two offenses, the Bombers are the ones that, if they need a quick score, are designed to get it. And in this contest, they would just need 3 if the score doesn't change to send the game into overtime.
And they scored that touchdown on the 2-minute drill in the end of the first half.
Chardon going to run it up the middle on the fullback dive. Fetchick getting about maybe 2 yards.
Still behind the chains. 2nd and 13 for the Toppers.
Problem is just going 3 and out will not do enough to run the clock. Although if you're the Bombers, you will gladly take it.
Yeah, if you go 3 and out, Kenston gets to keep their timeouts. They don't even have to burn them. They'll still have them for their next drive. They need to get the first down and really put the pressure on Kenston.
They give it to Around the right side on the jet, getting back to the original line of scrimmage was Liebhart.
Fortunately, you started this drive with a penalty, and you end up facing 1st and 15. So now on 3rd down, you're at 3rd down and 9 as Liebhart's able to turn the corner and pick up a couple yards, but good job on the Bombers out there on the edge.
Will be 3rd down and 9 from the 42-yard line. Clock 3:10 now and counting.
Again, with 2 timeouts left.
Chardon's got to watch it. Play clock down to 10.
Yeah, with 2 timeouts left, the Bombers will be in good condition. You really want to pick up a 1st down here if you're the Hilltoppers.
Down to 3. They're not going to get this one off.
They have to burn one.
And Coach Hewitt calls his final timeout with 2:50 to go.
That could be crucial. That could be crucial with that timeout being called here, and he ripped that headset off. I don't know that he was particularly happy he had to use that one there.
Well, it's the one unfortunate thing, Ryan, when you look at these games. Chardon does not have a play clock at Memorial Field. A lot of schools don't, but it's required here in the playoffs once you start getting this deep in. And as a QB, Henry just isn't used to looking for that play clock before snapping the football. He's busy scanning the defense.
Well, and the thing is, it changes things, right? So, if you've got the timer down on the field keeping things, there might be a few seconds before they hit the stopwatch and they start counting. That doesn't happen here. You've got someone up in the box that as soon as that whistle and that hand signal goes, they hit go on that clock. In some of these games without a clock, it can become more like 45 seconds, but it's a clear 40 when you're in this situation in the playoffs. You got to be ready for that. And you're right, the Hilltoppers just don't see it during the regular season. I mean, play clock's already running. You're still in your huddle, and 11, 12
they gotta
seconds
break
is gone.
Again, it's going to be the same position.
Yeah, and they're out of time. I mean, they're down to 8 seconds already to get this playoff, and they're only now lining up. It's got to be quicker.
No, they get it off just in time. Henry feeling pressure, and he's sacked. They got to him. Novak again. The young man who had 1 tackle for loss the last time these two got together just got a big sack there, and now a flag down on the field.
It's going to be against the Hilltoppers. The Bombers will decline it. Yeah, holding again. I mean, it doesn't have an effect. The Bombers decline that, but holding again against the Hilltoppers. Now the Bombers they're exactly where they want to be. They're going to get the football. They're going to have about 2.5 minutes left. They're going to have 2 timeouts. You mentioned they're designed to score quick. They scored their touchdown in the 2-minute drill in the first half. The Bombers have this game right now right where they want it to be, as the Hilltopper offense just never got going tonight. They had 1 good drive. They fumble on the 2-yard line, turn it over. Otherwise, that touchdown comes from special teams.
Bombers trying to block this field goal. Someone got a hand on it, ball spinning high up in the air, and it will bounce toward the sideline, and it will now be downed near the 44. Boy, Chardon needed perfect execution there, did not get it. The second time in this game a Bomber has touched a Joseph Evans punt.
Yeah, look, Kenston's been coming after it all night long. They came out here and played hard tonight, did the Bombers. They really did. And you and I mentioned it earlier. It's the most physical we've seen the Bombers look in a couple of years. They came out and really brought it tonight, and they put themselves in position to win this football game. One thing is that punt had a lot of hang time, so there's 2:07 left, but still 2 timeouts around midfield.
Well, no matter the outcome, the Bombers have kept 21 Chardon points off the board thanks to a fantastic defensive effort. Now they're trying to just add 7 themselves. Georgiou scanning the field, stepping up in the pocket, moving around, and throws it incomplete. Found a spot where he could just chuck it and no one's going to catch it.
Yeah, Houdini managed to avoid that sack as he once again gets out of the backfield, but he couldn't get enough on that throw to get it to Dylan Krupp. And it's 2nd down and 10.
Clock stops, 1:59 to go. Chardon fans traveled pretty decently considering that drive.
And the weather.
Yeah. Not a bad turnout either across the bleachers either for the Bombers fans, but definitely outnumbered here by Toppertown. Georgiou from the gun, fakes the handoff. Looking, has some time. Being flushed out, will dump it off. Incomplete to Patrick.
Yeah, that ball's just skipping on the ground. Once again, the timing is off. And not able to get anything on the throw.
The Hilltoppers secondary has been stellar all year long. Some good coverage there, but they need to do it 2 more times.
Yeah, Kenston's going to go for it on 4th down this time. So, yeah, this is where it's coming down to.
Three receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Sean Patrick in the backfield to the right of the shotgun Georgiou. Georgiou looking right, feeling some pressure, stepping up, chucks it in the air, and it falls incomplete. Patrick could not come up with it, and it's now 4th down.
But Georgiou does a great job to get rid of that football, because any chance you have of saving your season if you're the Bombers, if you don't pick up the 1st down here, is keeping your 2 timeouts. By avoiding the sack, he doesn't make the Bombers take 1. Now let's see if the Toppers can get this stop on 4th and 10.
If the Toppers do, keep in mind, Kenston with 2 timeouts left.
Yeah, so it's still not over if Chardon gets the football back.
Twins to the left, 2 receivers right. Clark from the tight end position. And now the Bombers, boy, are going to burn a timeout here to talk this one over.
Interesting call there. I thought they were really trying to hold on to the 2 of them there, but it looked like they came out there to see if they could draw a penalty and get 5 yards closer, and when they didn't, looked like they took that timeout. It sure didn't look like there was a lot of confusion on the field. Looked like they were lined up, but they walk off. Well, the Toppers hold on and win tonight. GTV will provide live audio-only coverage of Hilltopper football for next week's playoff game on GTV channel 1025. You can listen to the Toppers in the comfort of your own home with the score on the screen and the golden tones of the announce team bringing you all the action. So if you can't make it to the game, be sure to tune in to the Toppers on GTV channel 1025. The winner of this game gets the winner of Canfield and Ursuline. Canfield had a halftime lead in that one. And that'll be for the Division III Region 9 Championship next week. The regional finals will be next Friday night. Cowbells are ringing here in Boardman.
It is loud. It's how the Toppers defense likes it. 4th and 10, 1:44 to go. 3 receivers right, 1 to the left. Georgiou stepping up in the pocket, looking to throw down the field right side. And overthrows his target. No flags. The Hilltoppers will get the ball turned over on downs. He was looking for Patrick, who could not come up with it.
It's been consistent all night long. It's been consistently inconsistent in the Bomber passing game. And Georgiou just can't get into a rhythm. And he overthrows his mark again. And he's under pressure all night long. The Hilltoppers have him trying to escape. He has to try to get the ball in tight windows because of that Hilltopper secondary. And credit the Hilltopper defense. They've kept a really good quarterback out of rhythm tonight.
Indeed they have. And now the Hilltoppers will take over 1st down and 10 from the 44. Kenston does have 1 timeout left. So if I'm doing the math right, Chardon just needs to take a knee.
Math's not my strong suit. I can't help you there.
They will hand it off. Fetchick up the middle. And Fetchick fighting toward the 47-yard line. Ryan, you look back in this game, and what a tough, defensive-minded, physical game it was. But I just, in my mind, keep coming back to the First Baptist game in my head, where Chardon was down. They were getting punched in the mouth. They kept hanging around, kept fighting, and had that amazing comeback, one of the greatest ever played at Chardon Memorial. Kenston hadn't had that kind of a game this year.
They had not. And, the game I was thinking of tonight was week 1 against Olmsted Falls, that defensive battle where it felt like you're battling uphill all night, but you're just looking for a way to do enough to win at the end. And the Hilltoppers are a 1st down away from doing just that.
Fetchick powers his way up to the, and was that the 37, and the Bombers will use their final timeout. So 43 seconds left to go. A first down here will cement this one, barring any turnovers.
Yeah, I would say, you pick up a first down, you're in good shape. You can then take your knee and seal it. You have to remember, if you give the ball back to Kenston, they were back on their own 30-yard line with like 30 seconds left in the first half, got the ball to the Hilltopper 30 and wound up in the end zone before they got to the locker room. So the first down is key. If you want to lock this thing up, you pick up the first down and you go home, and we'll see what the Hilltoppers decide to do, but I'd imagine you turn to your senior quarterback, Alex Henry, who's a state champion, and tell him, run this football and pick up the first down for us.
Well, you see Heath Fetchick is out there, and he certainly would be a candidate to carry the football. Liebhart as well.
Fetchick's turned into a real third down option on that fullback dive as well over the past few weeks. Strong kid, powerful runner.
Him and Faye both have had some good runs ahead. Loose ball on the turf. Toppers and Bombers fighting the scrum. It will remain Hilltopper football. The good news, well, how about this? The game clock and the play clock are almost synced up. Theoretically, Chardon just needs to snap the football, take a few steps back, and time runs out. But
they don't even need to do that.
No.
They turned the play clock off. They didn't even need to do that. It's over.
So that will do it. The Hilltoppers outlast their neighborhood rival and take both battles of Geauga County. This time it's a 10-7 count, and Chardon will advance.
We talked about when they played Olmsted Falls week 1. This game is important to get you ready for the future. Now that Olmsted Falls game comes all the way back around, because this win feels a lot like that one.
Folks, we're going to take a timeout and come back with more here on GTV.
The Chardon Hilltopper Gridiron Club, in association with GTV, proudly presents Chardon Hilltopper Varsity Football. Today's game is brought to you by the Chardon Smile Center, Roniak Paving, Burr Funeral Home and Cremation Service, El Patron Mexican Grill and Cantina, Hazen Asphalt, Paving and Seal Coat, The Arms Trucking Company, Realtor Beth Felger at Keller Williams Realty, Patai and Mark F. Burr Funeral Homes, Dan McCaskey and Terry Combs, the McCaskey Team, Remax Traditions, the Junction Auto Family, Conic Law, LLC, Brock Construction, Precision Orthopedics,
Fit for Life Physical Therapy,
Ashes Mayfield Window Cleaning Company and the Chardon Athletic Boosters, and by GTV.
Welcome back, everyone, here to Boardman Stadium in Boardman, Ohio. The Hilltoppers victorious 10-7 in a defensive slugfest tonight. They will advance to the Division III Region 9 Regional Finals for the 4th time in 4 years.
Yeah, games like this are so intense, and they really get you, gripping onto the side of that chair all night long. But then at the end of the day, you look back and say, man, that was a fun one. That was a physical team game. Two teams that know each other so well and have this great rivalry, go head-to-head and right at each other. And the Hilltoppers come away with a hard-fought 10-7 win. You feel like it was fun when you get through it, but those ones are always hard to get through. But a great win for the Hilltoppers as they move on to the regional finals next week.
Well, indeed they do, and the Hilltoppers did it off the foot of Joseph Evans, a field goal, then a kickoff return by Caleb Hewitt of 98 yards. That was it. Defense allowed 1 touchdown 4 seconds before halftime, and outside of that, that was the offense. It was a defensive battle, and the Hilltoppers in their vaunted defense that has been limiting opponents to very few scores, very few points. The second half of the season did it once again.
Yeah, from week 1, this has been the story for the Hilltoppers, and no way around it. The defense wins another game for Chardon tonight.
With that, folks, we want to thank you for tuning in here. It was a miserable weather night out here in Boardman, to say the least. So appreciate you being a part of this one. If either you were listening to us on GTV or watching the streaming service as well, thank you so much for that. Want to thank our camera crew that's here. Executive producer Dave Jevnikar and my partner Ryan Recky. I'm Matt Jaworski. On behalf of all the rest, we wish you all the best. Hilltoppers advance with a 10-7 victory over Kenston. We'll see you next week.